Today I'll be talking about the citizenship applications. How can you submit a perfected citizenship application and become a Canadian? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sajjad Malik. I'm a barrister and solicitor, a business and immigration lawyer in Canada, and I'm talking to you from my office in Oakville, Ontario. Thank you very much for joining me today. And today I'll be talking about the citizenship applications. How can you submit a perfected citizenship application and become a Canadian or a Canadian passport holder? Now, for becoming a citizen, you must be a permanent resident of Canada. If you have been a permanent resident of Canada for the last several years and you have spent a minimum of 1095 days physically inside Canada in the last 5 years, then you may be able to initiate your citizenship application. So that's the first requirement, that you should be a PR, you must be a PR, and you are compliant with residency obligations, and in the last 5 years you have already spent 1095 days by physically residing inside Canada. There is no exception to this requirement. Even if you are abroad with your Canadian spouse, you cannot and have spent say 5 years in outside, you can still not apply for. If you have been employed by a Canadian government outside of Canada, you may be able to meet your residency obligations requirements, but it won't help you secure Canadian citizenship, because for Canadian citizenship there's a requirement of being physically inside Canada for 1095 days out of 5 years. There are other requirements to show that if you are within the age of 18 to 54 years, you should be able to demonstrate that you have the language ability, the language proficiency in either French or English, and you are able to understand the citizenship values, and you have to write a test of citizenship. Other than that, if during your eligibility period, the last 5 years from the date when you're signing your application, if you have been abroad out of Canada for more than 183 days, then you must also submit your police clearance certificates for all those jurisdictions. For children under the age of 14, they are not required to write any language proficiency test or citizenship test, but they must provide all academic diplomas, transcripts, or their registered attendance record for the last 5 years before they have signed their application. For all others, you are able to either provide the language proficiency evidence in the form of one of the language proficiency tests such as CELPIP or IELTS, or alternatively you could provide an evidence that the medium of instruction in your high school diploma or above in your bachelor's, master's degree was English. In that case, you are not required to provide any evidence of your language proficiency test, but your degree, diploma from an English-speaking country in which the medium of instruction has been English is enough. Another evidence which you can provide for your citizenship application, for the language proficiency in your citizenship application, is that if you have undergone a prescribed course of a newcomer's English language in Canada, you can provide the certificate of that course to establish yourself. Now, in citizenship applications, the citizenship officers, whoever is looking at your application, would look at whether you have met the requirements of physically being inside Canada, whether you are proficient in English, whether you have been able to demonstrate that you have enough knowledge of Canadian history and culture, and if there's no inadmissibility concern regarding your application. They will also look at some other factors, including your criminal history inside Canada. During the process, you may be asked to provide the clearance certificate or police clearance certificate from Canada, or they could do an RCMP check. For the people who are required to submit income tax returns in Canada, you may be able to give authority to the IRCC to gather your information from CRA, or alternatively, if you have submitted your tax returns, you are asked to submit your notices of assessment for those years in which you were required to submit taxes inside Canada. So the major requirements, if you look at the top 5 requirements, they are: you should have physically resided in Canada for 1095 days or above. You should be able to demonstrate proficiency in English or French if you are within that age bracket. You should be admissible to Canada. There shouldn't be any negative determination in your police record, either in Canada or outside. You are also filing your taxes regularly within Canada, and you have provided all relevant information in your immigration forms which you require to submit to become a Canadian citizen. During the process, you will be interviewed as well, and you will be writing your citizenship test as well. So after the interview, you are called for the oath-taking ceremony. You take the oath of citizenship in Canada, and then you are issued a citizenship certificate. That citizenship certificate is used to apply for Canadian passport, and you become a Canadian citizen. A Canadian passport holder, you will have all the privileges attached to a Canadian passport, including visa-free travel to more than 180 countries in the world. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any interest in applying for the Canadian citizenship and you meet the eligibility criteria, we would be more than happy to assist you in your citizenship application. Please reach out to me through the information shared in this video, and we'll be happy to assess and represent you in your citizenship process. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.